Welcome back to Tropicana Field, everyone. We're here because a couple weeks ago, the Wall Street Journal published an article questioning the future of Major League Baseball in Florida between the Rays and the Marlins ballpark situations. And it occurred to us, we're talking about two different situations, and Dwayne Lindo joins us with more. Dwayne.
Well, Alan, we spoke with one sports talk show host who has been covering the Rays since their inaugural season, and he cites a few differences. But the bottom line, he says, is that the Rays and the Marlins have to do something drastic before they get fans walking through those doors.
I'm Rock Riley, and this is Afternoon Drive.
Sports Talk Florida host Rock Riley has been covering the Rays since their debut season in 1998. In his years covering the team, there's been one constant.
When it comes to regular season, from the beginning, even when the Rays were in the World Series, they still had a problem bringing in fans.
And Riley points out, it's not just the Rays.
It's the Marlins. It's a Florida thing when it comes to regular season baseball and even the playoffs.
And he's right. This season, the Marlins and the Rays rank at the bottom when it comes to average attendance. The Rays averaging less than 14,000 for home games and have ranked dead last in 6 consecutive seasons. He says for fans statewide, it's not just the game that's an attraction.
There was the Ray Hawk. People were spray painting their hair blue. Young kids were involved. They had the bell, and then it was fun to go to. But if it's not an event and they're not going far, fans just aren't coming out.
Even worse, both teams have traded away popular players to cut costs and rebuild. Riley says eventually that mindset has to change.
Number one, you got to put a winner, and stadiums have to be in a location, especially here. That's number one.
At this point, the Rays believe location is their biggest problem. If enough money is raised, they could move the team from St. Petersburg to right here in Ybor City, Tampa, with Interstate 4 in close proximity. Many are saying this is a last chance effort for the Rays to draw in bigger crowds.
There's more of a population around Ybor and Channelside that they can draw from compared to St. Petersburg.
But even though Riley points to the move as being a step in the right direction, it may only translate to a temporary boost when it comes to attendance.
You have to win, even with a new ballpark. There's going to be a honeymoon. The first year it's going to be cool. I got to go and got to check it out. Second year, third year, they're not winning. They're in last in the high payroll AL East, and they're not spending. No, I don't believe it's going to be a success.
But in terms of building the new stadium, Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn is optimistic. He says the numbers would have to align between the city, county, and the business community.
Obviously, the Rays would have to come to the table with a significant sum of money. And the numbers that I've heard tossed around of $150 million are just not going to do it.
He says the Rays would have to contribute at least half of the $800 million needed to build the stadium.
I think they've worked hard to build a brand here. I think the marketplace is a place where Major League Baseball wants to be, and I think they can be successful. But they can't put the entire burden on the taxpayers and expect us to pay for their facility.
Ultimately, Buckhorn says the city of Tampa loves the Rays, but is prepared to walk away from a bad deal.
I mean, I'm not going to burden my kids' generation with a bad deal that they end up paying for another 30 years. So we got to kind of keep it in perspective.
Now, the priority for Buckhorn is to bring the Rays to Tampa, but he says the city will survive whether they come here or stay in St. Petersburg.
Dwayne, thank you.